Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. So we are on the main account and I'm going to show you basically the team that you see in the background, and that is a team to actually tackle the Ice Golem on the hard stages. You know, we've got these ones released recently with all the hard dungeons and all that, and they're a little bit harder, you know, maybe than we expected. Some are a little bit easier, such as like the dragons become a little bit easier. And honestly, there's not too many people that farm Ice Golem nowadays, even though I feel like, from my point of view, it's a little bit of a mistake, because I do believe, I might be wrong, but again, this is my opinion, I do believe that Ice Golem, for the sake of the end game, is actually better dungeon to farm than the dragon. Because you know what, the more you advance into the game, the more you get your speed gear, the more you outgrow some of the other sets from the sake of the dragon, for example. And the more you need sets from the Ice Golem. Like the sets that I'm talking about, for example, for the sake of endgame again, endgame, is, you know, you need sets like Reflex that can be really helpful for overall dungeons, for the Doom Tower, for the sake of Hydra, they're extremely good. Then other sets that can be really helpful are like the Resistance set, because apart from Baumol, where you can get, you know, the Fortitude set that gives you resistance plus the defense, there's no other way. Like, you can get resistance from the Untouchable set, but that's a 4-set piece. So the resistance becomes more and more important, because the stats required for tackling endgame stuff, such as, again, Hydra, such as the Sand Devil, Iron Twins, it keeps getting higher. And the same thing happens with what's it called, with the, let me keep this, I'm not sure how many speed boots I have. But like the Doom Tower hard as well, you know, the requirements keep going up, and there's more and more that you kind of want to farm from here. Then, you know, we have the first three ones that are kind of useless. Critical rate, it's not the best, there's other options, but there's another. So basically we have resistance and retaliation, as I mentioned. Cursed is again useless. We have the Reflex one and even the Provoke one. So you're basically having 4 gear sets that can be really good. The Provoke one's good again for Hydra, it's good for Arena. So, you know, there's plenty. There's actually 4 gear sets in this dungeon that are actually better for the sake of endgame than the, you know, the Dragon one. Because for the sake of the endgame, from the Dragon, you only want speed. Accuracy is like, you know, it becomes useless because we get so much forging materials for the sake of perception from Faction Wars that unless you have god tier rolls on accuracy, it's not that good. So speed is the only one that's good. Lifesteal, you outgrow it. Destroy, you outgrow it. Toxic is very niche. Frost, again, very niche. There's Daze, not that useful. Avenging, not that useful. And Stalwart is only good maybe if you're doing, like, you know, killable comp, or for, again, some other very specific uses. So honestly, I don't feel like this is the one to farm. But let's talk about my team exactly. So the thing with this team is kind of the same as my dragon team that I showed in the previous video, and it uses the same seer team. So this is same thing. If you don't have a seer, you might have somebody like, you know, that do poison explosion for the sake of the waves, or you might use a Ruel, for example. I'm gonna try and test out some stuff with Ruel and see what I can do for the sake of dragon and for the sake of the Ice Golem, to see if I can do something with him as well. But it's kind of the same principle as the dragon on hard. You want to get past the waves pretty fast, and then the 3 champions that you have that do that, which are Renegade, Ghostborn, and Seer, are gonna die at the boss, and then you solo it, or basically not solo it, but duo the boss part with 2 champions. And that's where Walking Tomb Drem and Mithrala come in. Walking Tomb Drem is, I think, actually the best HP burner you can use for the sake of that dungeon, and it's specifically because of this A2 that cannot be resisted. And not only that, he also brings an amazing A3 that equalizes the HP. You know, this one where it equalizes the HP of all allies, then attacks one enemy. So basically what this means, if he has, let's say, half health and Mithrala has full health, when he does this, both of them will be at full health. It always equalizes the HP to the highest level, which is pretty useful. And the beautiful thing about this one is it bypasses the heal reduction that the ads can place on you. So that's what makes him really good. Also he brings an HP in all battles, that's pretty good. Interesting passive. He activates HP burn on the A1, and you know what? Because for this dungeon right now, you know, from stage 1 to 10 hard, the boss is immune to poison. So all the tactics that we had before with poisons do not work anymore. So we kind of have to rely on HP burn. And this is the one that you know, I tried to see if it works, and it was just fine. I was trying to keep using a my Mithrala, and this is the same Mithrala that I'm using for the sake of the dragon. So, you know, I try to keep the same team because that's what most people will look first. Can I keep my same team? Can I keep my Seer? Can I use my Mithrala? And this one just works the same. Another beautiful thing about this team is, like, let's run it again, but I'm not going to run it to show you because that one's too long. But another beautiful thing from what I've tested, it's, I mean, I haven't done a million runs, but from the testing that I think I've done like 10 runs, I can also duo this dungeon. So I can duo Ice Golem 10 hard by just using Drang, Mithrala, and 3 food champions. And that's, you know, that's pretty good if you're still trying to, you know, get the best gear from the highest stage of the Ice Golem, and maybe double dip when there's a champion training tournament or event at the same time as the Ice Golem. Or maybe you have something like, you know, the Path of Clover right now. So if I wanted to min-max this, the way that I would do it is I would have Drang and Mithrala and with 3 food champs. But the downside is the fact that this team is, the duo part takes a while. So it's not the fastest. It takes like 5 minutes. The waves are pretty tanky. They have revives, they have heals, they have unkillable, so that makes it not be as fast. But still, if you want to still do it for like a 5-minute run, then these 2 champions are going to be able to do it. I'm going to show you the builds, and I'm going to show you the presets and all that, and I'm going to explain again some key things that you want to keep in mind to try and make this as reliable as possible. The usual problem with this dungeon is it's never going to be 100%. Like, I'm never going to call unless we're talking about stage 20 when it's lower and, you know, you can control it. But I'm never gonna call an Ice Golem run 100% because of his passive. Like, this annoying passive, you can proc it randomly even if you don't have War Masters or any other stuff. Because, I don't know, it's just the RNG of it. So, the HP burn is never gonna proc the boss's passive, kind of the same way the poisons were not procking, you know, the thresholds, the 80, 60, 45, 30, and 15. That if you pass over there with HP burn, it's not gonna proc him. But if you pass with a hit, it's gonna do that. And as you can see, like, I do 3 to 10k maximum per hit with these champions, and I still manage to proc it like once. So that's the thing to keep in mind. But let's have a quick look at the presets. Why did I come here, bruh? Take me back to the dungeon. Stop trying to sell me stuff. I'm just trying to show a dungeon here. So if we have a look at the presets, I have nothing for Rocking Tomb Drang on the wave. I just made him prioritize the HP burn when you got to the boss part because sometimes he just does not want to prioritize it. I don't know why, he just doesn't want to do it. So I just made him prioritize this. Then for the sake of ghost spawn, open and then do not use the decreased defense. Like, this ghost spawn can be a Lydia. If you don't have ghost spawn, you can use Lydia. It's gonna work the same. You just, you know, if you do exactly the specific presets that I'm going to show you now, even if you don't one-shot the first wave, you're still going to be fine to get back to your abilities on the second wave to do that all over again. So, open with the decreased defense and then do not use. Then on the second wave, priority the decreased defense again, and then on the boss part, doesn't matter. For the sake of Seer, prioritize the Karma Burn, or I could even do like do it once and then do not use it, but you can keep it priority because, you know what? You're still gonna come back to it on the second wave. I do this so she does not use the A2 at all, because the A1 can give her a ton of extra turns and she can come back to the Karma Burn pretty fast and you can throw it off. But if you lock this A2 off, on the second wave you make her open with that A2 and then prioritize the Karma Burn. So even if you don't one-shot the first wave, doesn't matter how many A1 turns you get to come back to the Karma Burn, because of the way this rotation works is she would open with this one, Renegade would do the reset, and then she would come back in time for the Karma Burn. If it's a Kymar, then this would change a little bit. It will change a little bit. You would not have her open with this, you would just have her go straight with the Karma Burn, because you would have somebody like Kymar go first, okay? He would go first, he would do the A1, you would kill it, get to the next wave, Kymar resets, everybody does all their stuff, and then you would kill it again. When you get to the boss part, whatever, I guess I could make it be the Karma Burn, but they die basically because the boss hits too hard. For sake of Renegade, I make her open with the A2. It can be A2, A1, doesn't matter, but I lock her Sacrificial Ritual. I don't want her to do the reset on the first wave in case we kill everything. I want her to do it on the second wave, so that way everything falls into place like I mentioned, and then at the boss she can do whatever. And for the sake of Mithrala, nothing. No presets, she's just in there to, you know, throw some buffs, throw some debuffs, and then basically help Walking Tomb Drang at the boss part by bringing her increased defense, by bringing the cleanse, the strength, and the shield, in case we get the 3% of getting decreased defense or heal reduction from the side adds. So that's the team. Now let's have a look a little bit at the stats. So my Mithrala is in a regeneration plus speed with some, like these ones don't really matter. I just have these for the sake of arena. I'm not sure I'm still gonna use her for arena in this build. I might have to try away without her, with somebody else, because she's pretty good for the sake of endgame, like for the sake of my team. She's pretty good in arena, and I'd prefer to have her in an immunity, stone skin protection, you know, some other sets rather than regen. But the stats that she has is 240 speed, 305 accuracy, 196 resist, good HP, good defense. Like, she's really tanky. And the thing is like this, she has 305 accuracy. That's not enough for her to land her debuffs always on the dragon, but on the dragon I use her as the lead, so she gets that extra 80. But basically what you're looking for here is you're looking to have a total of, you know what, 500 resist. Even though, you know, I checked on the raid stages tool on hellhades.com that you need like 435 resist to resist the debuffs. I was doing that on my dragon, but that was not enough. I was still getting those debuffs, so I'm just going close to 500. At least on the solo champions, I'm going close to the 500 resist, and that's good. The reason why she has 500 is because of her passive. It's like the accuracy turns into resistance as well. So this one would be what, 501. It's this one that I'm talking about. Also increases the champion's resist. The amount by which it increased is equal to the amount of accuracy. So that's why, you know, you can control the, what's it called, the resist of her. These are the masteries that I'm using for her. It's basically more of an arena mastery, but still it helps for the sake of PvE. Then Walking Tomb Drang, I'm using again regeneration and some random sets. As you can see, I have 500 resist on him. I have 225 speed. Like, you know, you definitely want him to be close to that 250 mark, but you can keep him a little bit like a 210, 215, 220 because of the masteries that I'm going to show you. And then apart from that, just you care about HP and defense. You don't care about any accuracy because he does not need accuracy to land his debuffs, which, again, it's the reason why you want to build him for the sake of this, because it makes it easier to hit the resistance and just the survivability and speed. If you needed accuracy as well, it might be a little bit tough to keep him alive. And for the sake of masteries, I had him in War Master, but I changed it because if you have War Masters on the people that remain alive at the end with the boss part, you have a high chance of proccing the boss's retribution while the ads are still up. And if that happens, you get one shot. Doesn't matter how tanky you are, unless you have a some sort of like immunity, block damage, whatever, the boss one-shots you, no questions asked. So I removed that and I just took him down the defense tree and then the support. And honestly, the last one, I'm not sure which one I use because I do not know if rejuvenation works for the sake of his equalize. Leave it in the comments below, guys. Do you know? Does this help with his HP equalize or this one? Because I don't think it does, because it just straight up makes, you know, the HP of everyone close to the max HP of the other one. So I guess the last one doesn't really matter. I'm not sure what to choose in here. Maybe I'm just gonna go with this one in case we're under freeze and you take less damage. Let me just take this one. But yeah, the last one that I took is Oppressor for the sake of the waves and the solo part. Like I said, if I'm soloing with him and Mithrala, Oppressor helps because he's gonna get 10 meter back faster and he's gonna come back to his HP burns faster as well. I took this because, again, more 10 meter when HP burns go down. Cycle of Magic for the sake of chance to coming back to his skills. This one to extend his HP burn, and this one to gain the speed from your allies dying. So you have 3 allies dying. If it's a speed run, see a Renegade and your decreased defense champion. If it's food, the 3 food champions. So this extra 24 on top of what he has gets him close to that 250 speed. It's kind of like what the bosses have. Then the other ones are, you know, just pretty basic, pretty standard builds. See, my Seer is with Savage and Cruel. So their speed, 100% crit rate, good crit damage, good attack, some accuracy, don't really care about it for this. And then these are the masteries. Like, because I have so much crit damage, I can afford to go War Master. If she does not have enough firepower to one-shot them, just go with Flawless Execution instead. Then the Renegade is, again, just War Master. This is basically my Renegade that I used for the previous stuff, for Fire Knight specifically, to do a bit more damage with the War Masters. She's in a shield set, but, you know, that can help for the sake of Seer's extra damage. And she also has a blood shield accessory. For the first wave, she goes before the Seer and gets an extra shield in there. Yeah, that's about it here. And then we have the decreased defense champion, which in my case is Ghostborn. The reason why Ghostborn is the best one is this one brings consistency. Unless you're facing Magic Affinity, he will always land a decreased defense. You don't even need accuracy for this one to land. and he will always land. You need accuracy for day 1, day 2, but for the sake of this one, you don't need it. This team works without ghost spawn, it works with Lady as well. This is the way I have the ghost spawn with the masteries. Nothing too important for the waves, just for the boss part. And then this is the Lydia that I have. The thing is like this, because Lydia is a bit too tanky, if you're gonna use her for the sake of the golem, you want to not have War Master, because again, if she has War Master, because she has this AoE on the A2, she has a chance to proc the boss, and that's not what you want. But yeah, this is my team. It does it at around 2 minutes, as you saw. Like, the best time is 1 minute 51. I'm pretty happy with it. Up that I'm gonna do some more testing and try and find a better one. This is pretty good. Like, you know, speed farm for the sake of something that's new 2 minutes. I'm definitely pretty happy, especially because there's, you know, there's no other way that you can do more damage in there, unless there was like some sort of HP burn explosion with somebody does it better. But I try to have in this team Ninja instead of Mithrala. I'm not tanky enough. Mithrala helps, like I said, with her increased defense, with her resistance, because if you don't have a decreased attack on the boss, he just slams too much. Plus, he cleanses it. So maybe if you had an HP burn exploder that also brings decreased attack, that could work. Like, I cannot think if there's a champion like that in the game. Maybe there's that dwarf that's for the faction wars. Let's see, Goffred, not Goffred, what's his name? Gronjar, this guy. So does AoE HP burn, remove block boss, extend it. So yeah, no decreased attack. So that's the only thing that you could want that could help you more. But yeah, this is actually a little bit longer than I wanted. But anyway, I hope you do enjoy my content. I hope this is helpful for you guys to try and farm the Ice Golem. Like I said, this team is not 100%, it's like 95%, let's call it, but it does it pretty fast and does it pretty good. But yeah, thank you all for watching, guys. If you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care, everyone. Bye, guys.